Hello everybody, it's that time again. Since I seem to have developed a habit, this is my third weekly rewind where I'm going to run through everything that I distracted myself with over the past 7 days. Movies, if there was any TV, places I went, things I saw. Usually it's not a very long list. This starts with Sunday, April 20th, which was Easter. He is risen indeed. My buddy Joe had, if you watched my previous video, been out of town and he stayed over for the weekend, and we made quite an event out of going to films and going shooting and doing things. Joe is an atheist. I have no problem with that, other than I pray for him daily. But he's one of my closest friends and has been for 35 years or so now. And he knows my family well, and so wanting me to be able to get to church on Easter morning, he offered to stay over another night and drive me. So on Sunday, Joe went to Easter service with me. We met my sister there, and it was a great service, obviously. And afterwards, we saw our third movie of the weekend. If you didn't watch the last video, if I see 3 movies in 3 months, and it's usually more like 6 months in the theater, it's a big deal. So this was the third movie in 3 days. We saw Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I enjoyed it very much, probably 3 stars. It had a lot of the nostalgia factor for me, obviously. The puns were equally as bad as they used to be in the series. The animation I thought would be distracting, being, CGI instead of cel, but I really enjoyed it. The voice acting was very good. All in all, it was a wonderful film. I enjoyed it, and out of that one and the Lego movie, which we saw Saturday, I think I would give the edge to that one, to Mr. Peabody and Sherman, actually, and it's one I want to see again first. After that, we went out for Chinese at a buffet, and then came back to the apartment. Joe had initially said he was in no rush, but he wanted to be home by 9, but on Friday night we had seen Oculus, and during the discussion of that film, I had brought up there was a similarity in the ending of that film and Stephen King TV miniseries called Rose Red that I'm very fond of. I think it's one of the better Stephen King projects. And so we got back to the apartment, and Joe was like, well, let's pop it in. I've got the DVD. Actually, I have 2 copies, so we had to take a shot because didn't know. I knew one of them was scratched, so I let him pick. He grabbed the right one. This one played all the way through. We watched the entire thing. He hadn't thought he had seen it, but around the 40-minute point, I think it was, he had that dawning of remembrance of, gee, I think I've seen this one. I'm like, well, you want to turn out? He said, no, I'm enjoying it, and it is one of my favorite Stephen King projects. I think it incorporates a lot of the stuff in his earlier work. He brings it together. The young, gifted, special children, from Carrie to the boy in The Shining to Firestarter to all those. The haunted house motif, the evil of a house, Salem's Lot, and it just incarnate in the building. A lot of the things that he was playing with in other stories just come together beautifully in this one. Keep in mind, if you do sit down and watch it, it's a mini-series, so it's not fast-paced. You get a lot of the lead in and lead out of atmospheric building, where the commercials, and had to reestablish it after each commercial break. But the characters are so well drawn, so wonderfully cast. I tend to watch this one every October when I do my month of horror. So it was nice. I missed it this last October, and so it's nice to catch it again. After that, Friday or Saturday night, we had started a film called Tai Chi Zero. He found it in my Netflix queue, and I don't watch a lot of Netflix. I put a lot of stuff in my queue. They now let you have 5 accounts, and I've filled 3 of them, so I have like 1,500 movies and TV series in queue, which is kind of sad since I watch 1 or 2 a month. But he found this one, and I knew nothing about it going in. We watched the first half hour, and then he pooped out. But it's just a very enjoyable film, and I really wanted to get back to it. So after Rose Red, we went back and watched Tai Chi Zero, and it's definitely a 4-star for me, and it might go higher if I watch it again. It's this blend of Chinese martial arts, steampunk, and video games. And I'm not even going to try and explain that. You have to watch it for yourself. But it's fast-moving, it's creative. We watched it in the original language, but you can follow what's going on. The subtitles are even creative, how they pop up and what's going, how they keep you informed of everything going on in the movie. So we're really getting into this and chugging along, and it's past Joe's time. He said he wanted to leave, and we're an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes into it, and it stopped. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Is it broken? I'm popping the remote there, and now it's going to credits. It's like, no, I said, it's got to be, it's going to pop up and, it's going to do some kind of Marvel ending. No, it was over. Turns out that they filmed 2 movies back to back. There's Tai Chi Zero, and there's Tai Chi Hero, and they filmed those together, and they have hopes of a 3rd film. It's a proposed trilogy. So Tim was not a happy camper. And so I immediately got onto the Netflix on the computer because I find it impossible to work it on the TV. And luckily, Netflix had Tai Chi Hero also. But Joe was ready to go. So we got him packed up. He took off. I thanked him for an awesome weekend. I just, like I've said several places, if I can do anything, spending time with friends, it wouldn't matter if we went to movies, if we went out to eat, or if we would just sat here in the apartment and talked and laughed. Spending time with my friends and some of my family is the thing I enjoy most in life. So once he left, I didn't watch it on the TV. I've got my Blu-ray picks up the Wi-Fi, but by that time, the weekend had worn me out. I was very sore. And so I came in here and I watched Tai Chi Hero on the computer. And I have to say it was a bit of a letdown. I mean, it's a good film and it continues the story, but the energy sort of petered out. It just didn't snap. It didn't have the humor. It didn't have the pop-up graphics as frequently and the jokes. And by the time the film ended, you could feel that they were cramming stuff in case they didn't get to make the 3rd film. They wanted to have as much as they could sort of wrapped up at the end of the film, so if they don't get to make the 3rd film, it was a bit, I mean, it was still a 3. It was a 3. You really have to watch the 2 of them together, so I guess together they'd average out to about 3.5 right now. But after the wonderfulness, if you ever seen Kung Fu Hustle, it's just a film that makes you feel good and laugh, and there's so much creativity. That's how the first film felt to me, and then the second film just lost some of that, and so that was a bit depressing. Monday, I was pretty sore, like I said. Joe had shown me a game that he likes to play online. It's a free MMO. You can play single player or MMO called Path of Exile. It's if you played Diablo, it's similar to that as far as the overview, third person view. And I had been having some trouble with some of the commands, and so he had walked me through that one night, and I did very good on most of it, but there's still a few things I can't do. So I played for a little while. But just sitting up, I have nerve damage in my hands. I have everything that's broken. People are going to get tired if every story has and this is broken thing, but So I stopped after my hand started. And if you've ever wondered why I'm doing this in the videos sometimes, it's because I'm feeling the pain. And I just decided to catch up on YouTube videos. I'm way behind on my subscriptions. Like I've said before, people post, I subscribe to a lot of people, a lot of different cliques on YouTube. Movie collectors, booktubers, RPG Brigade, video game modders and Let's Play people, and then just general interest, humor, hobby. So with everybody making so many wonderful videos, it's hard to be selective. It's hard to keep up on it. There are certain ones I try to stay on top of. And so I did that on Monday mostly, is tried to watch videos. Tuesday, I had a very full day, which is another reason I took it fairly easy on Monday. I had a school board meeting, and we had to meet with the faculty before the meeting, so I had 2 meetings on Tuesday. So when I was leaving, got my mail, which our mailbox are in the lobby, and I usually only get my mail on days I'm leaving the building because it's just not much. But this was waiting for me. It's a Disney film, The Third, Man on the Mountain. It's got, I suck at this. But anyhow, if any of you are Y50 fans, it has Dano, James MacArthur in it. It was a Disney film. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I remember liking it. Has Michael Rennie in it. And so I had free points from the Disney Rewards Club. And I'm never going to accumulate enough points to be getting a lot of Blu-rays or anything. So out of what I could get, I thought I'd give this one a shot. So that came. I went to the faculty meeting, the board meeting, and got home sometime after midnight. Was totally wired, so I watched more videos and tried to catch up on some more. Wednesday was laundry, always a highlight. And then I've mentioned before, on YouTube there is a gamer named Gopher who reviews mods, does Let's Plays. He has recently taken to doing Twitch live streams, and so I watched him play XCOM for far too long. I mean, way, way too long. It's like 6 or 7 hours. It was crazy. And then Wednesday I made last week's weekly rewind. I was way behind on that. Caught up on more YouTube videos, or tried to, and that was my Wednesday. Thursday, had a therapy appointment. Yay! And I needed it, because from there I went to I had 3 meetings scheduled on Thursday. I don't know, I think I've mentioned it. I'm on a school board. I'm also on my church leadership team board. So my first meeting after the therapist was, my therapy appointment was at 3. At 5, I had a committee meeting scheduled. I'm the chair of our Outreach and Development Committee. At 6, I had an emergency school board meeting scheduled. And then I had a conflict. 6:30, I had the church leadership team budget meeting scheduled. So I went to the school board meeting hoping to get out of there and head over to church, but I didn't get done with the school board meeting until after 11:30. Pretty sure everybody from church was home by then. So I headed back to the apartment. Got home about 10 after 12. So 2 days this past week. I left one day and got home the next day for meetings. Did not do anything when I got home except ponder, pray, review what had happened. Friday, I played some more Path of Exile, and I was better at it. I did not get killed once. I completed my first quest, and I still don't know how to work the magic, so I paused that. Watched some more of Gopher and YouTube videos. You see the pattern of my life here. Saturday, I played another game on Steam that I've been trying to get the hang of. It's called Banished. I think I mentioned that one before. It's a city builder, and pretty much managed to wipe out another village. I am not getting the hang of this game, and I'd feel bad and probably stupid if I hadn't watched so many Let's Plays on YouTube of other people failing miserably. I'm beginning to get the feeling that either this game is extremely hard, even on the simplest settings, or it's just designed for you not to succeed, which would be nefarious and so cool. But I gave up on that. Well, I saved my game and moved on to Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, which I do much better at and truly enjoy, and played my character there for quite a while, and then watched some more YouTube videos, and that pretty much wrapped up Saturday, which was the 26th. So in Rewind, that was my week last week. It was a busy week for me as far as commitments, but I did get to do some fun things, even the things that others would consider wasting time, like watching the live streams by Gopher. When you're dealing with pain issues and depression, it is nice to be able to just put yourself in a zone, enjoy somebody else having fun. I like to participate in the chats that run down the side of the Twitch stream, and there are some very witty, very nice people there. Chat is always another blessing that I've truly appreciated about the internet. I have many friends in my life, and I consider them friends. Sam, I've mentioned before, probably being the closest, that I wouldn't get to be friends with if it wasn't for the internet. Letters just don't cut it anymore. I can get on and chat with people for a few minutes or a few hours if my hands hold up, and it's a wonderful thing. So I'm sure this has gone on way too long, but I don't know. Maybe I'll stop doing these. I mean, it's kind of pointless. It's of interest to one or two people who are monitoring me. No, I'm not being paranoid. I do have family and friends who care, and they wonder what I'm up to while I'm sitting here at the apartment alone or when I'm out of their sight. So other than that, I hope that your week last week was a wonderful one, and that this one is even more amazing. So take care, stay safe, and as always, God bless.